Christmas is my favorite holiday, and I love to decorate my home with easy and simple DIYs. So my first DIY is an upcycle Findler photo flip freestanding album, originally from IKEA, but is now retired and rare. A friend gave it to me, and I thought it would make a nice nativity lighted scene. So here we go. DIY number 1. The supplies needed include 1 Findler photo flip freestanding album, brown, white, green, and red cardstock paper, 1 page from the Findler photo album, a big shot or a cricket, reptile adhesive, vellum translucent paper, nativity scene, a tree and a bird die, and 2 tea lights. Now I removed the clips from the acrylic frame and the photo insert pages. I had a little difficulty, but soon found it was easy to remove with the help of some pliers, which I don't really think I needed. I removed the IKEA sticker with some waterlogged paper towels and some adhesive remover pads. This removed the residue from the sticker and cleaned it up nicely without further difficulty. I removed one of the sheets and measured to determine how large the nativity scene should be. I originally was going to use a different die, but I found that I was low on vellum, so I had to use what I already had, and it had birds and trees already on it. So then I used some brown cardstock to cut the nativity scene with my big shot. After removing the extra pieces and tapping it against my hand, all of the pieces that weren't needed came off. I cut the top of the scene off and pasted a yellow star on top of the nativity scene. This would have gone more smoothly if I had a new piece of vellum, and I am trying to use what I have, and I did not want to go back to the store. However, I scraped one of the trees off, a star, and a bird, and then I painted those affected areas white. I put some scrap vellum on both sides of the scene so it would be large enough to put inside the page. Sometimes you just have to use what you have. I slipped it into the photo page, but needed to add some vellum on the sides. After that was done, I added a few stars and hooked it back into the Findler photo album. And since it is a triangle shape, I put 2 battery lit tea lights into the center of the album, and this made a great nativity scene. Oh, I was really pleasantly surprised how it turned out. And the good thing, it doesn't have to be plugged in, and you can put it anywhere in your home. Away in the Manger is an open playlist hosted by Junker Necker DIY and Simply Becky DIY. Here we are to craft or upcycle an element or entire nativity scene. Junker Necker is a craftaholic, she says, and loves to turn trash into treasure and upcycle thrifted items. And Simply Becky DIY likes farmhouse decor and participates in a lot of Christmas collaborations. These women are so sweet and are great crafters. The link to their channel is in the description box, so show them some love by subscribing, saving, liking, and commenting. Also, be sure to follow all of the other wonderful collaborators to see what they have made and show them some kindness. The link to the playlist is listed below. DIY number 2. This is another nativity scene. The supplies needed include some peg people, some pink and beige felt, brown acrylic paint, a natural colored bead, tumbling tower blocks, dried grass, a picture frame, a round wood disc, hot glue, white jute, some scissors, burlap. This was a fun project. And you have to go back to another DIY I did making this candle holder. And I thought, wow, this would make a sweet nativity scene. I started with the peg people and left their faces blank because I wanted it to be somewhat rustic looking. I tried putting on the dried grass on the rooftop of the stable, but later removed it, and you'll see why. I wrapped baby Jesus by putting on a cream-colored burlap blanket and secured it with hot glue. I wanted him to be front and center. I dressed Joseph by putting a beige felt robe adhered with glue and tied a cream-colored jute around the waist. But he also needed something for his head, so I had another felted, multicolored piece of felt that was blue and had some other colors in it, and it made a nice headdress for him. And I will also tie a headband around his head. Now it is time to dress Mary. I wanted her to have on a pink outfit with the headpiece, but I found that the felt was a little bit too bulky, so I changed it to a more fitted robe and gave her a headpiece that was a little bit longer and not so form-fitting. Now, the stable was black, or the previous candle holder was black, but I wanted the stable to be brown. I thought the black color was too harsh, and if you look at stables, they're usually brown. After it was dry, I applied some grass to the rooftop. Now, as you probably saw earlier, I had put some grass on top of the black rooftop, but I had to scrape it off. And also, there were some pearls on it that I had to remove also. Then put a bit of dry grass on the manger and laid baby Jesus. And as I said previously, Joseph needed a headpiece, so I dug in my stash of felt and found a multicolored blue headpiece. And I will wrap some twine around his head also. I love this nativity scene. The wise men did not see baby Jesus until approximately 2 or more years later at a house. It was a long journey, and that is when they brought him gifts. The Bible does not specifically tell us that there were only 3 wise men, just that they brought him 3 gifts. It is a fascinating story, and you may want to read it in Matthew. Now, the last DIY is a nativity book ornament. The supplies needed are a free nativity scene, reptile adhesive, some sticky notes, chipboard, and a ribbon for the hanger. I found a free picture of a nativity scene on the internet, and I cut it out and put it aside. I then had to decide how large I wanted my book. And so I cut the chipboard and made some marks in it so it would have a spine. I added some white paper so that wouldn't show through and it needed to look a little bit cohesive. Now, originally I was thinking that you could put some scriptures or some pictures in the book, but if I have to do it again, I would do it a little bit differently. Now, I had some sticky notes, but I don't know what I did with them. I couldn't find them. Anyway, you have to make things work. So I did have to close the book so that it wouldn't flip open when you hung it on the tree. So I put some gold ribbon on the spine. I had to hot glue that there, so you do need some hot glue. And I hung it on my little wreath, and it looks really nice. It's very simple. Once you get all the pieces cut out, then you just glue them together. So if you've liked what you've seen, please subscribe, like, comment, and save. I would love to have you to join the Z9 Designs family. Also, be sure to follow all of the other amazing collaborators. And remember, throw kindness around like confetti. See you later. Bye-bye.